Good morning, Morgan, and good morning to any of Morgan's friends that might be joining us. In today's video, which is, video 10, where we're going to be dealing with the range statements. What's the range thing do? Well, it generates lists of numbers, is what it does. And it looks like there's a lot of code here. There is, but what you're going to find out is once we get into this list function or this range function, you'll see that this is just, the same idea over and over again, just looking at it different ways. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's go over to the manual and let's get to reading. All right, here we are in the manual. Let's go ahead and get started, shall we?
Python Training Video 10, the range function. The range function. If you do need to iterate over a sequence of numbers, the built-in function range comes in handy. It generates arithmetic progressions.
All right, that's just a funny, fancy way of saying it. It creates lists of numbers. And in this first example, we're going to start with 0 because this is computers and not real life. And then it goes 5 times. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? That's the simplest form of this function. Okay? But let's go ahead and continue then, because it gets a little more complicated.
The given endpoint is never part of the generated sequence. Range 10 generates 10 values, the legal indices for items of a sequence of length 10. It is possible to let the range start at another number, or to specify a different increment, even negative. Sometimes this is called the step.
All right. Now, what's a different way of saying that? All right. So it wants you to end at the number 10, but it wants you to start at 5. Okay? So 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then, of course, because this is freaking, computers, it's one less than what you would think. All right, now let's go over here. This third number is a step. Okay, so what's it saying? It's saying start at 0 and go to 10, but we're going to do skip by 9. Okay, so 0, add 3, it's a 3, add 3 more, it's a 6, add 3 more, 9, add 3 more, 12. Oh, sorry, we can't go past 10. See how that works? And here in this example, you can actually go backwards into negative numbers here. So we're going to start at negative 10, and we're going to go to negative 100. So negative 10 minus 30 is negative 40. Negative 40 minus 30 is negative 70. Negative 70 is negative 100. Oh, we're not supposed to go that far. Boop. Okay, so that's kind of like, now we know where the border is. Okay? All right, now let's go to the next part where it uses a list, and we'll see how this works.
To iterate over the indices of a sequence, you can combine range and len as follows.
All right, okay, so remember when the lists, how the first one was represented by 0, and the second item in the list was 1, and the third item was a 2, and the fourth item was a 3. Well, it's using the range function to generate these numbers in I, right? And then, surprise, surprise, it's taking the I and using it to tell you what member of the list it wants, okay? And then it comes out, Mary had a little lamb, zips right through, okay? What else can it do?
In most such cases, however, it is convenient to use the enumerate function. See looping techniques. A strange thing happens if you just print a range.
Okay, if you try and print the range, it's like a literal, it does nothing, okay? And in the program, we're going to show that example.
In many ways the object returned by range behaves as if it is a list, but in fact it isn't. It is an object which returns the successive items of the desired sequence when you iterate over it, but it doesn't really make the list, thus saving space. We say such an object is iterable, that is, suitable as a target for functions and constructs that expect something from which they can obtain successive items until the supply is exhausted. We have seen that the first statement is such a construct, while an example of a function that takes an iterable is sum.
Okay. All that means is, you're using it to create numbers to use in a list or something else, or in a table somewhere. And here's something it does that's kind of weird that I don't really understand what it's doing here, but you can combine functions in Python. So it's creating this list 0, 1, 2, 3, and then because it's inside the sum adds everything up. Boom, you get a 6. Why you would want to do that? As I don't know why but you can if you want to. Anyway, with that said, let's go and let's run some code. And we're back to the code. So I've taken these examples from the manual and I've inserted them in here. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and run them. Okay. And let's see what happens. Chug it, chug it, chug. And boom. All right. We're going to go pause the video now, and we're going to go look at the output. And here we are. All right. So we run example 1. Guess what it does? 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now remember the one where it was we're going to start at 5 and we're going to go to 10? All right. Well, there you go. Boom, 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 boom. And in this example, in the next one, I should probably show the actual range function so we see what it is. Remember the one where it starts at 0 and goes to 10 and it increments by 3? Boom. There we go. There we go. And then this one, remember the print statement with the range in it? Yeah, instead of getting like a list of numbers, which in this case would be 0 through 9, it just gives you the thing like that. And then we have the Mary had a little lamb thingamabob. Ah, man, I screwed up on this. I should have displayed the actual command and not the expected output so we could follow. And, here's the sum. And this was just, this was an example of the sum, what was used to sum these numbers up to get that 6. All right. And that will complete the video for today. And the nice thing about a video, Princess, is if I go a little too fast, just pause the video, go back and listen to it a couple of times. And if you still have problems, just give me a call and we'll talk it out. All right? All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll talk to you later.